next structure we had in the old Oyo Empire is the Ogboni Society. The Ogboni Society. This society, they possessed judicial powers and they were equally involved in policy making. They possessed judicial powers and they were involved in policy making. The Ogboni Society was a secret society made up of prominent diviners headed by the Oluwo. They were the third organ of government in the old Oyo Empire, and they served as a system of check and balance. They checked the excesses of the Oyomesi, such as why did they reject this king? Why did they reject this Alaafin? What could the Alaafin have done wrong? So they checked the excesses of the Oyomesi. So they were like a system of check and balance in the old Oyo Empire. They performed judicial functions and they maintained and preserved the cultural duties of the people. We also had the three Eunuchs. There was also a structure that was called the three Eunuchs. They were involved in the administration of the empire, and these three Eunuchs consisted of the next structure we'll be looking at is what we call the three Eunuchs. The three Eunuchs. These three Eunuchs were involved in the administration of the empire, and they included the Osiefa. The Osiefa was in charge of the political affairs and ensuring that the customs and traditions of the old Oyo Empire were respected, and he also had to die with the Alaafin. I think this Osiefa is who we call the Abobaku in the old Oyo Empire. He was in charge of political affairs and customary, and he had to die with the Alaafin. So if the Alaafin dies, the Osiefa had to equally kill himself so that he can go and take care of the Alaafin in the afterworld. The next thing, that's on the lighter side, the next thing we'll be looking at is the Oniefa. The Oniefa is the chief justice of the then Oyo Empire. It was like the chief justice, just like the alkali judges in the Hausa pre-colonial period. The Osiefa was the chief justice of the old Oyo Empire, and he performed judiciary functions. The Otuefa was the one that performed religious duties for the Alaafin. We also had something called the empty calabash in the old Oyo Empire. The empty calabash. If the Alaafin begins to act unconstitutionally, the Oyomesi could authorize the Basharu. Remember that the Basharu is the head of the Oyomesi, to send an empty calabash to the king, which signifies his rejection. And when this empty calabash was sent to the Alaafin was expected to commit suicide afterwards. And these are the situations we said the Ogboni Society checks. So if they send an empty calabash to the Alaafin for something that the Alaafin has not done wrong, or probably because they want to put their person on the throne, the Ogboni Society was there to check the excesses of the power of the Oyomesi. I've said this earlier, but just to reiterate it, the accession to the throne of the Alaafin was not hereditary. It was not hereditary. The Oyomesi was free to choose a new ruler from the royal families.